Hi, I'm Darnell with Wavell Recipes, and this is my review of the Gourmia Panorama 7-quart digital air fryer with holographic display. And so, if you've not already seen it, please do see the initial review. In the initial review is where I do all the cooks, all the testing, all the talk about the specs, all the talk about how to use all the functions and features and everything. All that's in the initial review. But here in the 30-day review, I do a follow-up where I talk to you about my thoughts, my impressions, how I feel about the cooker, and give you a better idea of how things went for me after using it for 30 days. And so basically, generally speaking, I want to say that I actually did like this air fryer. I liked it more than I initially thought I would, and that's basically why I like to do 30-day reviews of things, because it gives me a better, clearer idea of my thoughts and impressions on the air fryer than just an initial couple of cooks. And I really review more cookers than I can do 30-day reviews of, but I am glad that I did pick this one to do a 30-day review of. Now for the price, it's a very innovative cooker and it works very well. And it's got a unique fan design, which I basically show you in the initial review in some detail. But with the way that it's designed, the way that it functions, for a very low price, it's a very nice deal. And that's although it lacks some features you would expect a decent air fryer to have, like a metal lining interior. It doesn't have that, but still it's a pretty decent air fryer regardless of that, even though that would be nice to have, and you would want that in basically any air fryer you're looking at. But this one, for the price, to not have that, it still functions very well. Now I do have to say this air fryer is very loud. It's louder than even the Gourmia 8-quart digital air fryer with window. And so with this, you don't want it in an environment where things need to stay quiet. But if you can handle the sound from it for the price, it's a very nice deal. It's just, all basket air fryers are going to make noise. This one just makes a bit more than others. I mean, you're not going to need like earplugs or anything, but still at the same time, it's very audible. You're going to know when you're using it. So that's just something that you have to factor in, and that's something that's covered in a lot of detail in the initial review. Now the holographic display in this cooker is very unique. I don't recall any cooker I've reviewed, well over 100, that has a display like this one has. And so, getting something like that, a real unique display for the price, that's very nice. But there's one drawback to all that, and that is because of how the display is designed, it kind of sets here and it's up here. But because of how it's designed, let's say that you're kind of setting over to the side and you want to try and see it, you can't get a good side view of it when you're kind of setting over to a side in the distance. Like with a regular air fryer that kind of has a flatter display in the front instead of like this slant thing that kind of has it kind of up and has the numbers and all kind of up where you can see them. Then if you're setting over to the side, you can see that very well. With this one, you can't get a good view on it from the side. So depending on where you're positioned in your kitchen, you can't see it. If you're kind of positioned off in another room and you kind of want to see it to the side, you can't. So that's just something else that you got to be aware of. It's best for a straight-on view to get the best look at it. One thing that I do like about this cooker is it has a lot of functions that you can control. Like you can control whether or not it has a preheat. You can control whether or not it has a turn reminder. You can basically do your changes on the fly. If you open the door, it's going to auto pause. I like a lot of those features in this cooker, and for the price, it's very nice that it has so many options. I mean, there are cookers that cost a whole lot more that don't have such nice features in the interface. Something else that I like in this cooker is that it has a very large viewing area. I mean, you can view from the top, you can view all this is like see-through here. So that's very nice. And unlike most basket air fryers with a window that have like just a window here and you're trying to look down, you may or may not be able to see in there very well. This one, you're going to see everything real clearly, and it's got a light. Everything is totally visible, and that's very nice. Now I want to talk about the evenness of cooks, and I've got photos to prove it. Basically, for one case, I roasted some macadamia nuts at 350 for just 5 minutes, and I moved them around after 2 minutes. But you can see in the photo that I have displayed that the heat was concentrated to the center. I didn't have any like parchment paper on the bottom or anything. So I had them kind of spread out on an even layer, but they was able to get airflow, but the heat kind of concentrated to the center. Of course, moving things around helps to better even things out, but still, most of that heat concentrates to the center. Now, on another test, I roasted some peanuts at 285 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. I did a preheat that time, and also I used the turn reminder to turn halfway through, and I put parchment paper down over the air fryer rack because I didn't want peanuts falling through the rack. And in that case, and it may be because the parchment paper was blocking airflow, more of the heat kind of hit on the edges than on the center. But moving things around halfway through helped to even that out. So the turn reminder was a big help there. But it seems like if you're going to be using something that blocks airflow, you're going to get more heat on the sides. But it seems like when there's like airflow able to flow a little better, it seems like it concentrates a little bit more to the center. You know, it does have like the fan that's kind of blowing kind of to the bottom and the top. It's a unique fan. It's not like a top fan. It's kind of a lower bottom fan spinning air around different ways, but still it seems to come down harder on the top than on the bottom, but still it does help to heat the bottom better than some other basket air fryers. Now the heat level on this air fryer is basically average compared to other air fryers. It's not like a hot, really hot side of air fryer type cooker. Some cook really hot, some cook cooler, some are just kind of in between. This one's kind of in between, you know, and it may be because it doesn't have a metal liner. If it had a metal liner, it'd probably be a hotter end type of air fryer, be able to retain the heat in a little better. But still, it cooks very well regardless of that. Now, after cooks, it's able to stay warm for a while, but not very long after. Like, if you get your food like maybe 15 minutes later, it still might be a little warm in there, but it's not going to be as warm as some other cookers that are more tight as far as holding heat in. If you come and get your food in like 30 minutes, it's probably, you know, you're not going to have much heat in there at all. And so that's just kind of how it goes. You know, they do have the keep warm function if you want to keep things warm. Now, as far as the user interface, very easy to understand, very easy to use. And one thing that was nice, that even though it's like a touchscreen display, I never had issues with it recognizing my finger touches, which is very good for a touchscreen display, although physical buttons are my personal preference. Now, if you saw the initial review, you may have seen that my door seemed to be a little hard to close after things heated up. That did kind of loosen up a bit after use, but it seems like other people don't have that problem. It's just something that went on with mine. It wasn't something that I felt I needed to do a return or exchange over. It's just kind of how mine was, and it did kind of ease up a bit after using it for a while. And I had no smoke issues with this air fryer at all, so it's able to function well without causing a bunch of excess smoke. Now I want to talk about the functions that I use in this cooker, and I'm not going to go through all of them because there's so many. I'll just go through the ones that I use myself. And so we'll start with air fry, and with air fry, that works well. Air fryer works well. It's a good air fryer, and with the way that it basically moves heat around, very good job. Seafood function, which is basically like a derivative of air fry, it works well too. The bake function, it's really nice. This is really nice for baking as far as basket air fryers go. I mean, some basket air fryers are going to really burn your stuff over. This one doesn't do that. It does a very good job with baking. So I like the baking in this air fryer. The roast function works well, and it works best if you move things around during like midway through the cook, and if you can avoid using like parchment paper or something on the bottom, I think it works even better. But roast function works well. And the reheat function works very well. I don't use a microwave, so anything I had to reheat was reheated in here, and it did a great job with reheating anything I wanted to reheat. Now regarding cleaning, I washed everything by hand, and it was all really easy to clean. Everything's non-stick. No issues with the coating coming off, so everything worked out really well. And something with these basket air fryers that have like the window, the double pane glass, they always get water stuck in them. And one easy way, if you want to clear that like water that gets in between the panes really quick, just dry everything off as best as you can. And after you dry everything off as best as you can and there's still some water in the door, you can basically put the basket in and you can run it for air fry. Don't need a preheat, don't need turn reminder, but air fry 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 11 minutes. That'll dry the door out. In fact, I cleaned it for this review and did just that before this review, and so you can see that things are very well dried out, and you can see from cleaning everything is nice and clean, no issues, and inside, nothing's like splattering up to the top or any of that type of stuff. It's a very easy to clean cooker. Now I want to talk about some comparisons. I'll just do a few, but for any that I don't do, you basically can look at the different reviews here on the channel and you can make a decision as far as what you like or don't like. And here on the channel there's like over 900 videos covering over 100 different countertop cookers and different other types of appliances too, but mostly cookers. So well over 100 cookers. So you can basically check those out and see what you like if I don't cover one that's your preference. But in regards to some of the comparisons I want to do here, basically just comparing this Gourmia Panorama to basically any window air fryer, as I mentioned earlier, you can basically better see things in this one, so that works out really nice, and that just makes it better than any window air fryer, because if you're trying to look at your food, what better to have than something that you can see all of that. So it basically, to me, it's better to have than any window air fryer if looking at your food while it cooks is what you're trying to do. Now, the other one I want to compare this with is the Ninja Air Fryer Pro 4-in-1. And basically with that, the Ninja Air Fryer 4-in-1, it's basically a tough call because I like this one. I also like the Ninja Air Fryer Pro, but I have to come down at the end preferring the Ninja Air Fryer Pro because it does have a more sturdy construction. It seems like a sturdier build. It does cost more. I mean, depending on the deal that's going on at the time, you might have to pay double for the Ninja Air Fryer Pro than this. But the Ninja Air Fryer Pro is just a sturdier build, and it's got metal line interior, so it's just a slightly nicer cooker overall. But you can get this a lot of times on a good deal. It's not a bad buy if you go with this. Now the Ninja Prestige is still my favorite cooker of all of them, but it's not really fair to go deep into comparisons with this because the Ninja Prestige is a large air fryer oven, but that's still my personal favorite. And so that completes my review of this, but I do want to say that I hope that it helps you in whatever decisions that you make as far as buying. I just try and give you the information and let you take it from there. And so nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing given to me, and so you can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Again, that's superwaveovenrecipes.com. Buy me a coffee link there. Also, buy me a coffee link in the video description. Also in the video description, there's lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price, help the channel. Also, here in this YouTube video, there may have been a shop link that might have popped up at some point. You can use that, and that'll help the channel as well. So, plenty of ways to help the channel out. But I do hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, you can give it a thumbs up. You can share the video with a friend, you can leave your comments, you can subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.